Yeah, one thing I will tell you about this business is if you don't have heart and soul within your team, if they're not, believing in you and believing in the leadership, you're dead because it's a lot of work. And you have so many front lines that are representing your brand and your vision and that if you're not carrying the bricks as a leader, they're not going to do it either.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Report. Today, I got someone who's doing big things in the tequila space, partnering with Dana White, partnering with the UFC, partnering with the local soccer club out here in San Diego, doing big things. I got my man, it's long overdue. I got my man, Robert Laird, on the pod. What's up, Robert?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Dude, appreciate you coming on,
Long
man.
overdue.
Long overdue. You said something before we started recording. You used to work in car sales.
I did, yeah. No,
I used to work in car sales too, bro.
I'm not surprised, especially because there's a certain breed of us where it's just very hard to beat us.
What kind of cars did you sell?
So I ran Mercedes-Benz dealerships for a decade, and then I ran BMW for about 5 years after that. So I'm 15 years in the car business. I actually was selling Cadillacs originally in high school.
Damn, dude, I didn't know
My
that.
senior year, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
The car industry teaches you a lot of things.
A lot of things.
And I have a background in sales, but I think the number one skill that you could have in entrepreneurship and starting a business is the ability to market yourself and sell.
100% that, and it's overcoming the objections and understanding and reading your clients and customers. And I didn't know this about you, but it now makes a lot of sense. Having that number of at bats in that industry, really hone some basic 101 must-have skill sets.
Yeah. Which Mercedes-Benz dealership?
So I live up in Northern California,
Okay.
just outside of Sacramento. So we're really fortunate. Worked for a great group called Von Hausen. We own 3 stores, actually. 4 stores at one time, but shrunk down from Reno down to 3 in the Sacramento area. I ran El Dorado Hills Mercedes. Started at 19 years old. So instead of going to college, we got into that business and did very well as the youngest finance director in the country and youngest manager in the country. It was
I love it.
excellent opportunity.
There's a dude out in he always brings his boat to Catalina, and his boat's called Mercedes. It's a nice Riviera. It's like a 60-foot Riviera. And I always say what's up to everyone out there, but I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Blah blah. We're chatting, and he's a partner on a few stores out here in Orange County, and so they own a mooring out there, and so the mooring, I know his moorings are not cheap, a couple $1 million to buy a mooring out there, but the mooring is Mercedes, and then they always bring the boat out. But he's one of a few partners, and I think they own a few stores. But dude. Yeah,
it's a great business. I mean, we talk about
it's a grind.
It is, and I think it creates a resilience.
12-hour days sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
Work the bell schedule.
Yeah. Every weekend, every Friday. And I was young. In that particular in that company, most of our sales guys were incredibly seasoned. I mean, we were polished. I mean, suit, tie every day. It created so much respect, for understanding your customers and becoming not a chameleon, but more or less reading your room and how do you handle those people, and more importantly, how do you get that higher end clientele, who are doctors and lawyers and developers, right? How do you align with them so that they can kind of feel comfortable doing business with you?
I think also, I mean, you learn all those skills, but I think most importantly, you get a taste of what it's like betting on yourself, right? Because being in the car industry, it's very commission based.
It's 0 to 0
exactly
every month,
and you get a fresh start every single month.
Every month,
right? And so you could come off a down month, but then come back and be number one the next month.
Yeah,
and you're only as good as your last month.
You're only as good as your last month.
And it teaches you a lot of things. So I always say sales is the number one skill that you can learn. Getting into entrepreneurship, real estate investing, it's the number one skill you can learn. A lot of the other stuff can be delegated out, but sales, if you know how to sell and market yourself, that is a skill that can be very, very valuable. So I want to there's so much to cover on this episode, and I want to talk about your tequila company. I want to talk about everything you're doing with Dana White, the UFC, the FC soccer club here in San Diego. But before all that, what is going on with this multiple class action lawsuit with these tequila companies?
Oh boy,
fill me
right
in,
into it.
because I don't know about this, right?
Well,
so fill me in. What's going on?
I think we have to understand, first of all, for us, for me, for this project, right, bringing on Dios Azul. I do real estate development like you. Okay, so after the car industry, same as you, for the last 9 years, that's what I've done. I've handled capital stack for about 12 developers that are kind of mid-level. And that's literally where I discovered Dios Azul. So we'll start there. Dios Azul was not on my bingo board for 2024. I'll tell you that right now, literally. I mean, I've done sales distribution in some very big sectors of the market as well over 3 years during COVID. In fact, the massive 9-figure Department of Defense contract with my team that happened to be Medea vodka, right? Medea vodka was an awesome vodka that launched. It was backed by Shaquille O'Neal. Okay. And then that group did a brilliant job pivoting during COVID into PPE procurement and placement for government contracts under Medea Medical. All right. And so I got introduced to them while I was doing a similar stint back then and brought them COVID testing. So the reason why that's relevant right now is because that team that we, solved a lot of problems during a precarious time, created a bunch of very impressive network strengths for me. President of Walmart and, buyers for Kroger. And, so I have a supply chain.
Kroger's huge, man.
Yes, Kroger's huge.
Cincinnati.
It's your big one. So that it was a lot of these slumdog millionaire moments over the last 20 years. And then having this tequila opportunity sort of find its way to me on a job site in real estate that led us to where we are today. So I'll preface all of it with that because that's a good thing to keep in mind. This wasn't a celebrity brand like you've seen where we're forcing the downline of an investment to add to my portfolio of things, which is what most of these celebrities have done. They've been presented removed, from the actual distillery and the families. Many people don't know there's only, 157, distilleries pretty much produce every brand you see.
Really?
Worldwide,
Damn.
So a lot of these are like white label houses, so the same juice comes out of it and then people just brand them.
Wow.
Yes.
And so there's multiple brands that are putting out the exact same product.
100%. Yeah. And it's pretty easy to look up. They're called a NOM number, NOM.
Damn. A NOM number? How do you spell that?
NOM, yeah.
Okay. NOM number.
Yeah. So
anyone can just go do this.
I mean,
if you got
kind
money,
of.
you got some money.
Typically, you're gonna, if you have some money and you have some bandwidth down in Mexico, obviously. What's so rare about what we've done with Dios Azul is this was actually one of the family members that was doing the drywall on my project in Central California. That is how this was discovered. Okay, and Pedro Partida, who is part of one of the most amazing families in Jalisco, right outside of Tequila, in a town called Amatatan, is born and raised there. Moved here 30 years ago to start his family with his wife. Has 22-year-old twins. Speaks very little English, and he decided to go back and kind of regenerate what his father had taught him how to make at their home in their home distillery. Now he did that at his aunt and uncle's distillery, Cava de Lorum. Cava produces some of the best tequila in the world. It's all estate grown. The biggest differentiator between what authentic tequila is and what we have is the way we grow, harvest our agave, and at what point we actually pull those.
What's our agave?
So our agave, meaning the agave we grow, okay, which is blue weber agave, and it's pulled at 7 and 8 years as opposed to 3 and 4.
What's the agave though?
So the agave is the plant that we actually harvest. And then bake, and then we process and distill.
Dude, what's the history of tequila? It's an interesting story, right? What is the history?
Yeah, so I mean, well, the history really back to kind of a gift from the gods is how the Hispanic culture brought it in, and they talk about the different agaves that they tried to distill. The Spaniards actually kind of introduced the right one, so Spanish had a lot of influence. It's a brand that actually started the barrel aging process. That is a big brand. That's actually one of the ones I would say is mainstream, but still doing it in an authentic way. And some of even the Germans had that. So this was all, 4 generations. This is late 1800s for most of the, started bringing it into the United States in the early 1900s as well. And it started to.
Was it always 80 proof?
It's actually higher. Typically,
it was higher.
It's like the stuff we have barrel strength is 120. Yeah. So it's amazing. Actually, you try that at our distillery out of the barrel. It's amazing. But here, when we actually import, it's got to stay at 40 ABV. Can't go below. So actually, there's some tequila in Mexico that goes below 40 ABV. Frankly, it would do really well here, and that's the reason why they don't allow it to happen. So
I got to be honest. I was always a wine guy, and I was always into vodka. And then just over the last year or so, I started kind of getting into tequila. I don't drink a whole lot now, but when I do, I'll sip on a nice tequila, something on the rocks. It's nice and chill. You sponsored a holiday party. Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. It's a great
Very
time.
grateful. You guys showed up. And the Dios Azul tequila was flowing at our Summers Capital
we
holiday
sold-
party
I
last
think
year.
we
Now,
blew through it.
I was sipping on that, and that was my first time drinking in 100 days. I came back and I was sipping on it. That is a good bottle that you guys have, and you can just sip it on the rocks. Which bottle was I drinking?
So you were having our Reposado. So it's funny you like wine. I think one of the other characteristics that really set us apart is the quality of the barrels that we age in. We've got over 1 million liters aging right now. So we go everywhere from our Plata, which is actually aged. That's our Blanco. 3 weeks in a Frank family Chardonnay barrel. So we come out of a Napa wine Chardonnay barrel.
Really? What's the thought process behind that?
So that when it's a wet barrel, we're able to pull a lot of those flavors from the previous wine that was in it, and it gives you a lot smoother, kind of a full body taste. And I think that's what you notice in our Reposado. The Repos age 9 months in a Cabernet barrel. So that Cabernet barrel, typically your Repos are aged anywhere from 6 to 7 max. We go like 9, 10. So again, the longer aging gives you more flavor and more full body. The fact that we're using Tejon stone, which is how we actually crush our agave. Okay, we still have about 6 of them in operation. There's only 21 in use in all of Jalisco. So that's an artisan approach to, kind of pulling that earth tone out of the rock as you crush that agave. That's the other difference, is how we produce it.
Yeah. And so you guys produce all this in Jalisco, Mexico?
Mm-hmm. Yep, right outside.
Is that in Baja?
So no, it's not. Jalisco is right outside of Guadalajara. So it's a big state, right? So Guadalajara, huge town. It's kind of like LA compared to Mexico City being New York, right? So it's our other real big town. Millions of people live there. We're right outside, only about 58 kilometers, not far, okay? Right outside the town of Tequila. So the town of Tequila exists, and the town of Tequila has, is home of Jose Cuervo, Sauza, Fortaleza, stuff like that. So they know the families really well. It's a very tight-knit culture down there, and that's also one of the more, fascinating things about this business is they all know each other, right? There's not, they've been working together for years. The family's been working together. And there's a lot of kind of heart behind it, a lot of similarities to what I've seen in the San Diego market and the way the hospitality town, works with one another here. Even though they're competing in a way, there's really nobody sheds any shade.
So you fly into Guadalajara.
And then
how long's the drive to Jalisco?
We go, it take 45 minutes without traffic. If you hit the traffic, it's about a couple hours. And that'll take you northwest towards actually Puerto Vallarta. So northwest.
Oh, so it's on the coast.
It's 2 hours from the coast.
Got it.
So not bad. I mean, if you go to Puerto Vallarta,
Yeah.
you can actually fly, drive 2 hours.
Pretty big town, or is this just solely tequila?
The town of Tequila is moderate size, probably 75, 80,000,
And it's called Tequila?
It's the town of Tequila.
Really?
Yeah.
It's literally named Tequila.
It's called Tequila.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, brother.
And so
You got to go. I mean, it's
in Jalisco, though.
incredibly cinematic.
I didn't know there was a town called Tequila.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean,
Damn.
culturally down there, you've got obviously your trades, beautiful churches, you've got really good restaurants. The food is amazing. Amatitania is outside of it about 18, 20 minutes. Okay, that's a smaller town. That's where your workers are living. It's a lot more rural, more third world. And that's where our family is from. So Pedro's from there. I've seen his house, but his
Who's
sister,
Pedro?
Pedro Partidas is the actual creator, designer of Dios Azul.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, you guys do a great job of marketing yourselves. Like, you guys are all over. I mean, all over. I mean, I see you doing stuff, out with Dana White and the UFC. You're doing
so
the
we're
SC
actually
soccer stuff.
We're
here.
actually
You're all
with-
over social
what
media.
I love, and it's wild because this basically this brand, and I'm like you as an entrepreneur in real estate, a little longer sales cycle. And the one thing
Is it?
I should say real estate's a longer sales cycle, right? As we work, and we're working with less clients, as you know. It's not like the car industry where you're talking to 50 people a week, okay? And the one thing I love about getting back into kind of hand-to-hand customer service and hospitality is that you get to do that every single day, and you and I have been, lucky enough to enjoy the finer hospitality, aspects in life and the groups, right? We're eating well, we're dining well, we're traveling well. And what I noticed when I decided to actually take this on and tell Pedro's story and bring Dios Azul to life raise the capital, strategize the team to build, et cetera, is that there was a huge gap in the market right now in the spirit space where hospitality doesn't exist. The conglomerates have bought up the brands they think are going to win, or they've worked with a celebrity they think can give them enough clout to move bottles, and that nobody cares about the end customer, or more importantly, your venues, right? So your hospitality, restaurants, and food and beverage. So that's been my goal. That's our mantra, is to bring hospitality back to
And so give me
hospitality.
an example of how you guys differentiate yourself and bring more hospitality than others.
Yeah. So when it comes to like bringing in activations and working with a venue, let's say Click Hospitality, right? Our pool house, or our guys here who had our back since day one, by the way. And I specifically chose San Diego as soon as I decided to do this, because I knew San Diego would embrace change and something authentic and this good. And when I tell you that tequila is good, if you haven't had it yet, you gotta go try some. It's the best spirit I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. The reposada is
it's good. No bite,
smooth,
no hangover,
man.
nothing.
Yes.
It'll change your life. But
clean.
Anyway, that's not.
And real quick on the hangover, like tequila, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't tequila, out of all the liquors out there, gin, whiskey, vodka, all the tequilas out there, I'm sorry, out of all the alcohols out there, tequila is the cleanest.
By far, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the best for you.
Yeah.
Easiest for your body to metabolize all that.
100%.
Least hangover.
That's because there's no sugar in it. Okay. So the reason we're seeing some of these class action lawsuits against some of the bigger brands is because they basically have been lying about the amount of sugar. That's the allegation in those lawsuits, right? So like, for example, in one of them, instead of being 100% blue rubber agave, which it needs to be in order to be tequila, okay, CRT says that, there's 33% agave in it. And people are spending
what's
hundreds of dollars.
What's the other part made up of?
Sugarcane. So they're using other alcohols.
Sugar. And that makes it taste a little bit better?
It offsets bitter agave and diffusers that they use when they distill. And that's what they try to do. So they try to offset the ethanol and what tastes that burn by adding the sugar. Ours is pure agave. So it's just agave water and barrel aging. And the agave, if you had diabetes or an autoimmune, disease of some kind, it's the one thing you can digest. We actually digest it almost like a vegetable. So there's no hangover with good agave. None. And I've tried. Trust me.
Yeah. What does a bottle like this cost? Retail.
Yeah, so
Retail.
Great question. So we wanted to bring it in at a really reasonable price so that everyone could enjoy it. So our Reposado, that's actually our Neo, which I love. That's aged 2 years.
So this is not the Reposado that I have.
The Reposado sitting on the counter.
Got it.
Neo is my favorite, and it's aged 2 years, and we leveraged Kentucky bourbon barrels.
Okay.
Along with a blend of the Cabernet barrels from Napa. So Kentucky bourbon, Napa Cabernet, and it's aged twice as long as most Añejos. So it's really, really rich, full body, tastes almost like a whiskey, which for a Scotsman, that's great because I'm usually a whiskey drinker, or bourbon or Scotch. That runs $80, so that's
$80
and that's
retail.
aged 2 years. That thing should be $400 if it were anything else.
And then what about the Reposado?
Reposado is only $60, and then our Plata is $50.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then give me the breakdown. I mean, I'm not a tequila expert by any means, but if you were to just sip on it on the rocks, which one is going to be the smoother one? Is it Reposado?
So
generally speaking,
they all stand on their own, and I'll tell you why. The Plata's aged, so it's still going to give you a kiss of the barrel and kind of give you a nice citrusy, a little more floral kind of taste out of it. The Repo I feel is the most well-rounded. I mean, that one comes out of a Cabernet barrel. It's aged just right, so that thing's like all night long. It's like full body. It leaves you wanting like one more sip. And Añejo is kind of, I don't want to call it a treat, but cigar, an old-fashioned with it. 2-3 of those
celebratory thing.
Celebratory, but I mean, it's so damn good. It's hard to put down. So
got it. And then the clear one is what?
That's called our Plata. So it's
Platos.
actually an aged Blanco. We are launching a Blanco. I'm bringing that in at a really inexpensive price too. We've seen an adjustment in the market, obviously, on what people are spending, and so we want to get ahead of that.
What are you noticing in the market?
Well, obviously, we've got a generation that's is definitely drinking less. Fitness and health is on the full front for you and me, guys like us, right? It's not right now more than ever for guys in that mid-early 40s, late 30s. It's longevity, right? Guys like good friends with Gary Brecka. You look at kind of what's in the market. I own a hormone company out of Scottsdale that's been doing peptides and TRT for years, and so that's a part of my routine. And we want more time. So alcohol has dropped in sales because of obviously the negative side effects for some people. Tequila is that one balance that you can really enjoy, and it's not going to be a big deterrent to that same lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think that's the angle that you guys could play is, hey, this is, if you're gonna drink, this is the cleanest option for you.
1000%, this is what you should drink.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys, if you're looking to get into real estate investing, but you're like, hey, I don't have the time, but you want to participate in the passive income, the tax benefits, and the wealth building, my company, Summers Capital, partners with limited partners, people like yourself, and we go out and buy boutique hotels. We have a fund where we currently own 5 hotels, and we currently have a wait list for investors to participate with us. If you want to learn more to see if this is a fit for you, you can go to summerscapital.com/invest to inquire and get on our wait list and be notified next time we have an opportunity. Again, summerscapital.com/invest. Now back to the show. Is it true that the millennials and then more so the Gen Zers are spending less on alcohol than our parents' generation did?
They are. They're indulging in other stuff. You've got DH9 stuff coming, even so the THC-based beverages are coming on the market. They're doing gummies, vapes, you name it. I mean, the fact that THC is now legal in
I'm
most
like, dude,
areas.
I don't see anyone smoking cigarettes anymore, but I see like every other kid I see on the streets walking by or like doing anything, I'm like, they got a vape in their mouth.
Bro,
I'm like,
it's
dude,
like the worst.
you left cigarettes. At
Yeah.
least we know the history of like what you're putting into your lungs.
100%. Yeah.
With
It's
the
almost
vape, I'm like, bro, what are you inhaling there?
Get back to a Marlboro Red, for God. It's healthier than that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss that. I mean, that ship never even came into my realm.
But I don't know who came out with the vape thing, but they got all these kids addicted to the damn vape.
Yeah. I mean, luckily,
it's the new cool thing.
I'm a father of teenage
school.
boys now.
Yeah.
And luckily there's kind of, it's a big like no like in that generation. I feel like there's a generation that missed that memo.
That makes me nervous.
And they're
I'm like,
yeah, for being a father.
What do you inhale?
I don't.
I'm like that. It's just it's just an electric box, and you're inhaling something.
Yeah. So we want to stay like healthy in our balance of life, right? The libations, and we go out, we're networking. For those of us who are having a good time, we're never going to get away from, in my opinion, spirits, cocktail, mixology. It's all part of our culture. And what I love seeing about this industry, and the reason why I decided to take on a multi-billion-dollar operation, from scratch, is that I believe tequila is going to become the front runner, and it continues to show that, in sales and market capture. So, Dios Azul is going to be, in my opinion, with what we've been able to pull off in just 9 months.
Is that when you guys launched?
Yeah.
Damn, it's only been 9 months.
9 fucking months.
How did you get in with Dana White in the UFC?
So to clarify, we're with Dana White's Thrill One Entertainment downline. So that matters. Dana no longer, there's a big sell off of it to Endeavor for UFC.
Say that again.
So Endeavor acquired UFC.
Really?
So Endeavor
UFC
has PBS.
sold? When?
Yeah, it's 3-4-5 years ago.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And
So
Dana stayed on as
of course,
as a president.
he's CEO, and
Yeah,
of course,
and he's still a partner, right?
100%.
Yeah, minority
but
partner.
His new baby is Thrill One Entertainment, which is Nitro Circus, Nitro Cross at the time, SLS, which is Street League Skateboarding. He got all of everything from Rob Dietrich stuff, so Ridiculousness, and then they started Power Slap. So the Fertittas and Dana have kind of invested in this new downline that we're a part of. So our first partnership with him was actually with Thrill One Entertainment, which was Nitro Circus, Travis Pastrana. I mean, I just had Travis at our distillery shooting his Netflix series, and he was blown away with seeing the process and everything else. So that's been pretty cool. And then Dana's Power Slap obviously is now the most viral sports and entertainment sport in the planet. It's at 14 billion views or something insane. We just got done doing New Orleans, and we're, did a really good job and got lucky getting in early enough that the deliverables and our visibility is staggering.
What's it like at a Power Slap match? I've been to a bunch of UFC matches, and those are sick, especially when you got, some good title fights. I love watching UFC. It's probably my favorite sport now. But what's it like watching a Power Slap match?
Well, leave it to Dana to this started at Apex, right? They're off their training facility that they use during,
they tested it there.
Yeah, they tested it there. Yeah. Tested it first with employees.
And was this something where he was like, "Hey, let's just see if people are interested, and if not, we'll just table it."
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, he was interested in it overseas, and then got intrigued enough to sort of engage with some of those athletes, and then he brought a few of those big athletes in. But going to one live, which I'm going to invite you to the next one for
Dude,
sure.
I'd love to go,
You'd
man.
love to go. It's really intimate. First of all, he's also leveraged brilliant marketing and strategy. Same thing we're doing, which is leveraging, influencers to come in and enjoy it. So it's a VIP experience. It's a lot more intimate. Like I said, 4,500 people, 2,500 people, maybe. So you're in it, and when you hear this slap and you're watching a 240 pounder I would rather take a fist to the face than a slap from some of these guys. And so, it's almost like the home run derby of MMA. I mean, you're always waiting for that shot, and you get to see it like over and over again.
And they'll go slap for slap. How many rounds?
There's a coin flip.
Okay.
Depending on the weight, I believe there's 3 to 5 rounds. Okay, so the lighter weights go a little longer, just typical. Heavier weights less. So if you miss that coin flip,
Yeah.
which is
You're getting slapped
you're
first.
getting slapped first.
Yeah.
So then you gotta, you're getting rocked. Everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth, right?
Yeah,
So according to Tyson.
And what percentage of these go to KO and via KO?
So we had, I believe there was 12 on the card in New Orleans just a few weeks ago. 7 KO'd. I mean, and these were. Go back and watch the reel. I hope you got to splice this in for this one, because it is, it's violent.
Damn.
But entertaining.
Yeah.
And everyone's in good spirits after it.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. So, anyway, so you're sponsoring the slap events with Dana.
When we launched, I didn't want to half-ass this. I mean, this is a big deal. You don't kind of do tequila. You're up against monsters.
You guys are making a splash.
To give you an idea, some of these portfolios are doing 16, 17 billion a year in sales in their spirit line. Tequila itself does about 17 billion a year in sales out of 190 billion in the spirit industry. So it's capturing, 8-9% of the sales. So you got to come in hard. There is a lull right now that we're really trying to take advantage of, and it's working in our favor with some of the class action lawsuits and allegations about kind of frauding the people. People don't like that. I mean, if you're going to tell us to pay all the money, it better be all
authenticity
the
always wins.
100%. So, luckily, our fan base and our patrons are seeing that, and we're getting really, really impressive traction. We're distributing here now in 5 states, and we wanted to leverage sports and entertainment and influencers and authentic relationships, right, with those people in the game. From Insomniac Group to Tao. I mean, we're in all the nightclubs now, and that's not because we're Mark Wahlberg. It's because we're good friends with the management crew or know the hospitality team who's been there 10, 15 years, and they're resonating with the story.
Sure.
So it's a really
People love a good story.
We love stories.
Yeah.
We get behind stories. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel either. We saw the successes Tito's had in Austin, Texas in the 2000s by becoming sort of the tequila of the people, or the vodka of the people at the time. And people were calling it out, right?
Yeah. You mentioned Tao. What other nightclubs are you in Vegas?
Yeah, so Vegas, we got we're in all the Stations casinos, Tao, Live. So this is Marquee, right? Which is all Tao Group is one of the best out there. So you've got everything from Palm Beach to Tao Beach to Marquee. Omnia is one of our favorite ones. I mean, Omnia is huge, right? We just signed DJ Dioro as not only an ambassador, but he's coming in as a fantastic partner with us. We're actually creating his own SKU. I'll tell you that right now. You'll be the first to hear it. You're the first one to announce this. We're doing a rosé for him. That's going to be really unique and allow him to tie into his really authentic, American Hispanic culture and following. He just played our post-match at STFC, and it was unbelievable. We had 15, 16,000 people stay after a soccer match and party for 2 hours
to hear him perform
at Snapdragon. Yeah, it was
damn, that's so sick.
Yeah,
man.
It was very, very cool.
What's the key when you go into some of these bigger nightclubs in Vegas and try to strike a deal with them? What's the key going in?
So having the relationship is step one. I mean, there's 100 brands that are trying to get in with pocketbooks, right? It doesn't really work that way, because when it comes to what we're offering as a brand is that it's not just that we'll come in and do a swipe or, do a marketing deal. Like, we're going to co-brand, we're going to market, we're going to bring people and patrons to the venue, right, within our network. And so those people
showing them how you're going to bring them value.
100%. We're going to bring you value. That's how this is in each one of these. We're going to bring you value. You're going to give us some love and make sure we get some notoriety, get some placement, menu placement, things like that. So there are some nuances in this business which were fascinating to figure out along the way, right? We're kind of building this jet midair. And that's really what we're on a trajectory that no brand has done
I
in
saw
10
your
years.
I saw your stuff with the FC soccer club here in San Diego. I mean, and the branding looks sick. I mean, you're literally all over the stadium. They're repping your stuff. How did that relationship come to fruition?
Yeah, so it's very serendipitous. That one was our first stint at a sports group. And the way that whole deal worked, I mean, this is pre-funding. I mean, I was basically self-funding this out of the gate and doing a pilot run here in San Diego. It did as well as I could have hoped. We basically moved, 3-4 pallets very quickly in the market that Pedro had actually produced originally and was going to sell out of his garage. Okay. Said, hey, let's take this to San Diego and let's really see what we can do with this and make sure this isn't something I'm making up in my head. While we were here in San Diego, we ended up getting introduced to their star player, Tequila, right? Who's coming to the MLS, came from the Europe League. He's revered in Mexico on the national team. He helped crazy story in his match against Germany in World Cup. His goal literally triggered an earthquake in Mexico City on the Richter scale from him celebrating. So he was coming in as almost the third highest payer of all time in MLS, and we secured him as an ambassador before I had the team. Talking to the agent as we're putting that deal together, this is like April, so almost 14 months ago. That's it. I said, what are the odds I wonder if we can get the team? And my partners were like, I don't know, can we get the team? I said, I don't know, I was willing to find out. I said, told the agent, I said, hey, see if you can book a meeting with the CEO, Tom, who's now one of my dear friends and one of the greatest guys I know. But that agent had not met Tom yet. They were buttoning up their deal with Chucky. And he goes, I mean, I don't know, maybe I can. He might be free this afternoon. I said, I'm flying down right now from Sacramento. I land at 2:00. Let him know if he can give me 30 minutes. I'd like to talk to him. Okay. He got me the 30 minutes and I meet him on the floor or the showroom of their lobby of Kettner Exchange. They have awesome headquarters there.
Love
awesome,
Kettner.
Love Kettner. I love Kettner.
They're part of the Kettner Exchange Group?
They're season ticket holders.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and they actually run our food and beverage in the Founders Club.
Got it. Love it.
Or the food, they do the food. Anyway, he takes the meeting, and I literally, in the time on the first floor and the seventh floor, I tell him our story, what we wanted to do with San Diego. I said, we really want to create this as San Diego's Tequila. We're going to invest in the hospitality group town here. We're going to invest in nightlife, and I want to see us bring that type of energy out to the stadium at Snapdragon. Well, what I didn't know is that was exactly what Tom wanted to do with a brand, a spirit brand, was bring an after party VIP experience, to post match. And it was something that he had done at LAFC that he founded. So Tom has experience in
at the
MLS,
actual arena.
At the actual stadium. Yeah. I've
Okay.
been out there. The stadium's amazing. It was old Qualcomm.
I need to go. I know you've invited me a couple times. I need to come out.
You might need to go tonight. We got a game tonight. It's going to be good. Anyway, so it was ironic. So Tom's sitting there and he's hearing me. He's very stoic, intelligent dude. And he goes, you know what? This is exactly what I want. And I'm going to back it. And that was wild because they were getting, obviously prospected by all the big guys. I mean, this is not an inexpensive partnership by any means, but it springboarded us into those other conversations. There's no way we would have had a chance of getting in with Dana's team without it. We're now in Petco. We're going to be going live with the Padres here. We're already in all the Petco. And so San Diego has really embraced us and we're leaning in back on San Diego.
I love that, man. Yeah. I love that. You mentioned the after parties at the soccer games. Walk me through, what is that like? Yeah,
so it's a ticketed event. And what's really cool, we took over 2 of the bars, complete build outs. So the Dios Azul bar. There's one on the lower terrace called the Azul Lounge. It's all Dios out. And then up on the top piers is the Dios Azul Piers Bar. So that is where we hold it. We actually work with our team with Insomniac's lighting and sound team. And so we bring in really notable DJs. This last one was Dioro, which was a showstopper, but really good local DJs that we all know, and so it's usually 1,000, 1,500 people.
Damn.
Party until 11 o'clock after a game.
Damn. What time do the games get out?
So usually a 7:30 kickoff. We're done about 9. 90 minutes of play plus or minus.
So you run a couple hours after.
So we run a couple hours after.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Do they how do you make all the, because this is a big arena, right? We're talking 15,000, 14,000.
This thing holds 33,000. It's
33,000?
sold out pretty much every
Damn, are you serious?
Yeah, bro.
So how do you guys make the 33,000 fans aware of this after party?
So, well, they're ticketed and emailed. Now, it is a little exclusive for some of the VIP, right? This one we did, the last match with Dior, which was our title match against Nashville, was open to everybody. So that was what was so remarkable. We'll have to run some footage on this. So, I mean, everyone stayed in their seats. So we turned basically.
Everyone stayed at their seats?
Yeah. So they're in their seats in the stadium. Dior was popping off, overlooking everybody. I mean, it was wild. The energy was off the hook. San Diego has had our back, this franchise back from day one. And SDFC has done a hell of a job. We could not have picked a better partner to launch our brand parallel with, because they've really invested, in the market. And, San Diego's got a bunch of different little subculture neighborhoods, right?
Oh, totally.
And
a lot of Latina Mexican ties
Of course.
with the culture being so close to the border here.
Yeah.
You mentioned Mark Wahlberg. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
What are you doing with Mark Wahlberg?
Well, no, Mark has Flecha Azul. So he's got a brand that he's launched as a celebrity. Yeah.
Got it.
And he's definitely leaning in on it in some of our territory. He's out of Vegas.
Yeah.
Obviously moved there. So he's doing a lot with Vegas. But it's interesting.
Mark started following me on Instagram. I haven't reached out yet, but I would love to do a podcast with him. I know he's down in he has a shop in Oceanside, right? Sometimes he's down here.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's put a lot of effort into it for sure. It's
that's the big thing he's pushing at the tequila right now, huh?
Yeah.
And then he's got the clothing brand too. It looks
that's Municipal.
Yeah, Municipal.
I like
and he's got a little shop here in Oceanside, I saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to love, one, these guys all inspire us, right? That's the one, if there's one caveat to the celebrities taking this type of venture on, whether it's apparel or something like this, is they inspire us. And they do give you, show you what can be done with some notoriety and some hard work. When it comes to their choices sometimes and who they're working with, it's just flat out, there's ratings on tequila, right? And there isn't one celebrity tequila that isn't in the bottom third of quality. That's not me. That's just what's posted. And so what's ironic with us is the U.S. market which is fast becoming educated. I think you're noticing that right now with other brands that are taking over market share in the tequila space, is that they have a palate. They're intelligent. They're looking into how it's produced. You've seen a little people paying attention to what's in it. And, they're wanting more for bang for their buck, so to speak. And this particular product, I'm telling you right now, that we're producing and sharing with the world is unmatched. It's a top 20 distillery. It's, which is hard to pull off, and some of the smoothest stuff anyone's had.
How do you manage all the distractions that come with the business and being at the nightclubs and all these like parties where you're promoting your brand, but then you're also embedded with all these distractions in the late nights, which is not conducive with obviously, being a high performer. And so how do you manage that? That's
a good question. Sometimes I don't know, because I've been on 138 flights since January. I'm fortunate that I'm pretty effective in market, and I've got, a great network, and very blessed to have earned that, right? Just like you've earned it. It takes years to create that kind of respect, right? Where people, the people know you bring value. You've brought value for years without necessarily asking for anything in return. And so when people see you thriving and striving, they want to help out. So that fuels you when you build your own brand. The fact that this is my own brand gives me a lot of that energy, even though I'm out till 3 and 4 in the morning, being and having to be impactful, right? And making sure your time's impactful. I still find the energy to get up, keep the workouts going, and try to
don't get me wrong. I think that'd be pretty freaking sick to go out it's literally you get to go to like all these dope parties, these clubs, promote the stuff. Talk about. It's got to be exciting and fun.
I've never had.
I'm sure there's no dull night.
I don't need to sugarcoat it. I've never had more fun doing anything.
Yeah,
been fortunate to have built some amazing teams, sell some of the best brands, and have a really great portfolio. In real estate and a lot of what like you do, similar type transactions. This got back to where we were kids and we were just, in front of people, making people smile, making deals, and so I don't know, it's resonating with me right now. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I love that, man. So what does Dios Azul need in order to get to the next level?
Yeah, that's good. We always looking like, how do we
What's the next level for you
How do
guys?
we elevate? We definitely elevated this last
You
week.
made a huge splash, yeah.
Yeah, made a big splash with that. Not to mention the other partnerships
In
underway.
9 months too.
And in 9 months, we've got an NBA team coming in under as
Really?
well for Northern California. That's
Damn.
has
Are
one of our
are we talking the Kings? Or are we
we
talking
are
the
not
Warriors?
talking about the Kings. Yeah.
The Warriors.
Not about the Kings for this one. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, we're working with the Warriors right now to bring that alive. Chase Center. So when you look at the spirit industry, it's one of the things that led me to go into this is there's only a few sectors of the market that can get into that very large valuation very quickly. And it's not necessarily EBITDA, which is different than some businesses. It is on brand recognition, depletion rates, placement, stuff like that. And so you're constantly climbing and spending money to get there. So, there's going to be a conversation right now, even though we're very well funded, how do you get to that next level? Can't make $1 billion without 50 million, that, or maybe even 100. But I mean, that's where we want to see this brand go.
And the goal is to build to a certain valuation and then look at a potential exit. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways for this to slice out. There's a picture perfect would be a really amazing strategic partner that comes in and understands the value, and they come in with a pretty big capital influx, and they take a decent percentage, and then we continue to run. Because one thing we've seen in the past is portfolios will pick up brands and then they kill them, right? Because it loses the heart and soul and the synergy and
Dude,
the ecosystem.
you saw that happen with Mikey Taylor.
Yeah,
He had what was the alcohol company? It was a brewing company.
Ballast.
Was it? Ballast Point bought them?
Yeah, no. Ballast was bought by Constellation, which is Coors.
Got it.
They paid $1 billion for it. He went in, and then he turned around and started Cutwater. But Ballast ended up, doing very poor, and they ended up, writing a couple $100 million off, if I recall. And then, yeah.
So Mikey's brewing company, they had like a $72 million exit.
Okay,
But
this is different, yeah.
It was a $72 million exit. I forget the name of the brewing company, but the new group came in and it was private equity, and they ran that thing to the ground, like ran it to the ground.
Yeah, one thing I will tell you about this business is if you don't have heart and soul within your team, if they're not, believing in you and believing in the leadership, you're dead, because it's a lot of work. And you have so many front lines that are representing your brand and your vision and your, that if you're not carrying the bricks as a leader, they're not going to do it either. And so it goes, and you don't get to,
St. Archer Brewing. That was the
is
name
that what
of
it was?
Yeah.
I know that brand. Yeah. You don't get to turn this off, by the way. I mean, this is.
What do you mean you don't get to turn it off?
Once you're in this game, you have to stay relevant.
Yeah,
relevant.
absolutely.
Okay. So
there's no going back now.
No days.
You've already put yourself out there.
It's all go right now. So yeah, an exit maybe, but
and not only that,
I'm having
you got
a
a
lot
lot riding on this.
Of course, yeah.
You got
absolutely.
investors, you got kids, family, you got all your team members and their families. Like everything, their future is riding on where you take this, and so
100%.
there's no going back.
I'm all in on this.
Yeah.
And we've got some great investors that are believing in us. So
But that's the best way to be, man.
That's first and foremost, is make sure we make everyone proud, make the team proud, and then more and make sure that our family down in Mexico, who we're incredibly close with, we do these awesome live feeds for Power Slap now, where they throw a bigger party at the distillery than almost we do, and we do a live feed in. So everyone from our Mexico partners to here is really, really energized, enthusiastic about our trajectory.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that.
I'm excited.
You guys have online. Can people buy direct online with your website?
We're in 5 states, so it's diosazul.com, diosazul.com. We use actually Kagan Bottle, which is right here in San Diego. My boy Tony put us on, so he handles all D2C procurement or placement, everything else.
Yeah.
Fulfillment.
Distillery room is here in San Diego?
Our distillery's in Mexico.
In Mexico?
Yep.
In the town of Tequila?
In the town, just outside of Tequila.
I got to get down there sometime.
Dude, you'd love it. Easy. TJ flight, boom, 2 hours. I'll have you there by afternoon when everyone's getting done with their siesta. And we can pop some really, really good bottles and barrels of tequila.
Yeah. Robert, I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate letting to tell our story here.
Yeah, of course. And if you're a listener, follow this brand, because this brand is just getting warmed up, and definitely check it out. I'm a fan of the Reposado. I don't drink a whole ton, but when I do, it is fire.
No, he's had a very good time on it every time. And the best thing is no hangover the next day.
Yes. And we got to do more stuff together. Every time I get with you, it's always a good time.
Yes.
Keep crushing. Where can the folks get in touch with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. You can DM me here at Laird Life on IG. You know, we're always scaling between this market and everything else. And the story is, you know, the tequila does all the work for us. We're trying not to screw it up, basically. But we appreciate all the support. Obviously, we're kind of the up and coming brand that
Dude,
needs
9 months
everyone's
in, man.
9 months.
9 months in.
Just 9 months.
Dana White, doing the slap stuff. FC Soccer, Golden State Warriors, Chase Center. Let's go. You guys are just getting warmed up, man. This is just the beginning, Robert. He's Robert Laird. I'm Rich Summers. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.